inside the rectangle, inside the dotted line, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got 24 inside the rectangle. And then we need to add up the squares inside the triangle bits on the edge. Can somebody that got 28 like to come up and tell me how? Who's not come up yet? Hello. Did you get 28?
Yes.
How did you get 28?
Because there's 24 inside, but on the like half squares, they're not full squares, but you can like for example, you take one, so you take the top one on the left-hand side, no, on the right-hand side, the top like half square on the right-hand side, just been after the dotted line, and then you can take the bottom one, like the bottom square on the right-hand side, and then you just put it on the right-hand side of the square piece to make a full square. Basically, use the half squares to make a full square with the other half squares because they're not a full square.
Amazing, perfect. So great. So we've spotted that we've got 24 full squares, but we need to add up all the squares that I'm about to shade now in orange. These ones here, okay? We need to add them all up. So I'm going to use a technique that I showed you last week to compare things, and that's translation, okay? So don't worry too much about the translation, but I want to show you that if I move that triangle over to this side, you get the rectangle that we've got in the diagram on the right here. So that's the diagram where I've moved that triangle and I've stuck it along here. Let's draw the dotted line there. I moved it there. You can see it's a perfect match. That each of the triangles. So let's show you what I mean by that. So each individual triangle, let me draw it in blue. This one here fits in perfectly there. And then this big one here fits in perfectly there, right? So the area for a parallelogram is actually going to be the same as an area for a rectangle once we've done that translation. Okay, so it's going to be slightly different for a parallelogram. Now, with a rectangle, we got length and we times it by the width. Okay, but this is where it gets different for a parallelogram because we don't call the length of a parallelogram the length, we call it the base. So that's going to be the length along the bottom. And the width is now going to be this perpendicular height. Okay, so it's that dotted line there. I'm going to call that height. So to find the area of a parallelogram, we do base times height. Okay? So let's do some practice questions now and see how it all works.